So your brother has spent more time with this playbook
Yes.
than you have. So how helpful is that to have when you're, trying to get this crash course?
Yeah, it's extremely helpful as we have a new quarterback coach, Coach Chandler Whitmer, and he's been phenomenal. He's been a blessing to our quarterback room. And Alberto, was actually the only quarterback in our quarterback room now that was a participant of last year's team. So being able to get the crash course of the offense from both of them has been amazing, has increased my knowledge of the game exponentially. I've been processing so much faster. My footwork's been better. My decision-making's been a lot better as well. So having that from my brother, who's seen all these plays, has seen a very successful quarterback in Curtis O'Rourke operate the system at an extremely high level. And to see that, having Alberto's experience, Coach Whitmer's experience, Coach Shanahan's, and Coach Signetti just makes it a perfect storm.
Growing up in Miami, was the dream to play for Miami, to be a Hurricane?
Yes. The dream was to play for Miami as a Hurricane. And once I entered the transfer portal, Miami was recruiting me. However, it didn't work out on both parties. However, I do wish Coach Cristobal and the Miami staff the best of luck this season, as they are phenomenal people. Coach Cristobal is also a fellow Cuban. He also went to our high school, Christopher Columbus. So there's a lot of ties there, and he's a phenomenal human being. However, it just didn't end up working out, especially with timing, as Indiana's season got finished a little earlier than Miami's because Miami had a very late bowl game and kind of the whole sense of it. But it was always a dream. I actually live on the U-Miami campus. I could walk to their practice field pretty easily. I'd say it's a 5-minute walk, if that.
There's not a lot of Cuban college football players. I mean, how much of a point of pride is that?
Yeah, it's a huge point of pride. And all my grandparents, born and raised in Cuba, 3 in Havana, 1 in Santiago. And so I'm extremely grateful for all the hardship that they've been through coming over and the whole part of being an immigrant and starting from the ground up and really laying a foundation. So myself, my brothers, my cousins, we could all have a very fulfilled and opportunistic life. So, I mean, it's extremely cool. And I know there's some other Cuban players out there, like the Kentucky quarterback, Zach Calzada. And so that is extremely cool to see, and look forward to putting on for the Hispanic community.
I know you've been to Cuba, and I know it was kind of a transformative trip. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so my grandfather is extremely engulfed in history, our family's history. He always sent us emails, texts. I mean, he's the best about our family's history. And so we actually took a trip back to Cuba, my grandfather and Alberto and I. And we went back, we saw some cousins who had ended up staying in Cuba, and just saw the community as a whole, and it was a very transformative experience. Cuba is a beautiful country, beautiful nation. However, right now I would say it's under some growing pains, to put it lightly, and not to don't want to get political. It's a football show, but yeah, no, it was really cool to see. It was very transformative, and it really showed my brother and I how grateful we are for the opportunity that our grandparents took a risk coming to the United States, as they were extremely comfortable in Cuba. Similar to I was very comfortable in Cal, taking the risk to Indiana. I mean, it could pay off. I could look back and be like, oh, well, maybe I should have stayed over there with the Cal algorithm. But it was a risk that my grandparents and I were both willing to take, and both extremely grateful for, and both looking forward.
So your grandparents had mango trees in their backyard when you guys were growing up. So tell me a little bit about this, because it sounds like you and your brother were entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So my brother and I, we always hung out together, and at that point, there wasn't much technology. I would say it was the Wii was out, and so that was the big thing. But at a certain point in time, my parents cut us off. They're like, you only get an hour a day on weekends and stuff like that. So we needed something to do with our free time. And we actually have a mango tree in our backyard, and our grandparents have a mango tree in their backyard as well. And we live on the same block. So a couple houses over, and it's their house. And we also had a couple other neighbors who also had mango trees that we're essentially like family friends with, or they say in Cuba, Cuban cousins with. So my brother and I, we respectfully asked my grandparents, the neighbors, and our parents if we can take the mangoes. They're like, yeah, sure, because there's so many mangoes during that summer mango season that at some point you could only take so much mango before they go rotten. And I think they just wanted, when Alberto and I were 6th graders, they were like, ah, sure, these kids can have it. So we got our little wagon. We go around door to door sales, and we'd be like, oh, who wants to go? And Bro's like, all right, I'll take this house. You take the next house. And so it was always going door-to-door sales saying, hey, we have better prices than Publix, better prices than Kroger's, all other supermarkets. We're here right now. We can give you a deal. We just need cash. So,
did people buy them?
People did buy it. People did buy them. And I wouldn't say we made a lot of money, especially if we didn't have a business license. So IRS, please don't come after us. But it was a fun experience. It was a fun experience, and I think that it definitely developed our character a little bit and got us into that overcoming the flinch of, hey, we want to go in the cold tub, it's not great. We want to take a cold shower, it's not great. All right, let's just do it. Not like a bad, let's just do it, but it might be a little scary at first. The jump from Cal to India might be a little scary for first. Miami to Cal might be a little scary at first, but just go all in and see what it gives you.
It seems like family is such an important piece of all of this to you, and obviously now with your brother here. Tell me a little bit about your mom and all of the different ways that you try to raise awareness, but also make it clear how important and what a rock she's been for you.
Yeah, so my mom's a stud. And my dad and my mom were both collegiate athletes. My dad rowed at the University of Brown, and my mom was a tennis player at the University of Miami. So she was an amazing athlete, and after she modeled, and then she came down with a disease, multiple sclerosis, which is essentially a paralysis or nervous system disease. And so that's been a hurdle to overcome as a family, but having her and seeing her light, her positivity has been my role model, all my brother's role models, and has been an inspiration to our entire family. And she's the rock of our family. She's always there. If we need anything, I think my brother and I, we call her 4 times a day. So it is a little absurd, but we talk to her so much. She's always there in our corner. It's like in the boxing ring. We're fighting, throwing a couple punches, get hitting a little bit. We're going to our corner, talking to our mom. All right, we're ready to get back out there. So to have her, such an inspiration in our lives. When I was back at Berkeley, I thought I need to do something for my mom. So I partnered with a local burrito store called La Burrita with my friend Becco Kelly. And we created this Mendoza burrito where all the proceeds would go to the National MS Society. And that was a little thing of overcoming the flinch. All right, I don't know if I want to do this. It's a little, screw it, let's make a burrito for my mom. And we ended up making over 11 grand. So it was great, and it all goes to the National MS Society. And I'm extremely grateful for everybody that participated in it, bought a burrito, and I know that it gave positive light on my mom, which deep down in my heart, I was even more thankful for.
And are there plans or hopes that you'll be able to do something in Bloomington?
Yes, there are hopes. Although I love football, I love getting involved in the community, and that's something I look to do in the future. So that is something that I look forward to doing this season.